So today I'm doing a Pretty Little Liars hair, makeup, and kind of inspired outfits video. And I'm just kind of doing like an overall inspired look. It's really not inspired by one specific character, but I'm going to go ahead and get started with the hair and makeup, and then I'll move on to the outfits. So I'm going to be using this NYC Color Individual Eyes palette. And this comes with a primer, and then the eyeshadows, and then like a cream illuminator. And this is in the color Smoky Blues. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the primer all over my eyes. Now I'm also going to take a little bit of the Makeup Forever Aqua Cream in the color 12, which is optional, but this is kind of like a little bit of like a kind of orangey bronzy base. And this will intensify the lid color that I'm going to be putting on after. Now then I'm going to take this first color right here, which is a really pretty like bronzy gold, and I'm going to pack this onto my lid. I'm really impressed with this palette. It's very pigmented, which is great. And then I'm going to take another flat shader brush, or you could use just the back side of the other brush. I'm going to take this next kind of deeper bronzy color, which kind of looks a little bit like MAC Satin Taupe. And I'm going to apply this kind of on the outer corners. Then I'm going to take this next darkest brown and put this into the crease. And then next I'm going to take the cream illuminator. I'm just going to get a little bit of this on my finger. Now something that I see in all the looks of all the Pretty Little Liars girls is they really have a lot of eyeliner on and very dark liner. And this is very dark and pigmented, so it's going to work great for that. I'm also taking just a black pencil liner and applying this on my lower lash line. Okay, now I'm just going to go ahead and curl my lashes real quickly. Then just go ahead and apply your favorite, very volumizing mascara. And I think the Pretty Little Liars girls probably wear false lashes because they have really thick and beautiful eyelashes. But for me, I think since, you know, the heavy liner and stuff, it's enough makeup for me. So I'm not going to apply any false lashes, but you definitely can if you would like to. I'm going to move on to cheeks. I'm just going to be using a Tarte cheek stain in the color True Love, which is kind of just a really nice peachy pink. And then for lips, I'm going to kind of just mix two colors in this NYX lip palette. Kind of this mid-tone peak and then this little bit of like a corally one. Just going to kind of mix those up a little bit. Okay, so there's my Pretty Little Liars inspired makeup, mostly kind of Hannah's look, but I think this kind of works for all the girls. I kind of just really do kind of bronzy, smoky eyes, a lot of liner, black liner, and then kind of just peachy, pinky lips is kind of what they all do. So now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the hair. Okay, so for the Pretty Little Liars hair, I'm kind of just going to be doing the big, soft, flowy curls, which they all kind of seem to sport in, like, you know, every other episode or whatever. So first what I'm going to do is just add in the 24 Hour Body by Tresemme. This is a weightless styling cream. And it's just going to give me a little bit more body to my hair and also will help hold the curls a little bit better as well. And I've already applied a heat protectant throughout my hair as well, and you should do that if you're going to be using heat on your hair. I'm going to kind of put this kind of up by the roots, I guess. Then I'm using this Hot Tools curling iron. As you can see, it's very big, and that is because I want like a real soft, like kind of big, loose curl that they wear. So I'm going to take about 1 to 2 inches of hair. Use the clamp. And as you can see, it creates a very big kind of wavy curl. And I'm just going to go ahead and do that all throughout my hair. The girls also wear kind of a middle part, so if you want to do that, you can as well. So there's kind of my take on the Pretty Little Liars makeup and the hair. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you some of the inspired outfits. I love how each character has her own sense of style. This is the photo that I had my inspiration from. This is my recreation of Spencer's look. Okay, so the first look I have is Spencer, and she's wearing this really pretty like ruffled top, and this is kind of the top that I found that was a little bit similar. The only thing is this one kind of has like a buttoning effect right here, so I just kind of pulled those two pieces back and just kind of put my hair over it so you can't really see that. But it has the same kind of like ruffled detail and kind of v-neck cut. And this was actually from Papaya, which is kind of like a trendy like junior store at the malls, and you know, it's kind of like a hit or miss place. Sometimes the stuff there is really cute, sometimes it's kind of like tacky and not cute. But this top was just like dead on to what Spencer's top looks like in the photo that I'm using for inspiration. And then she also has a silver kind of bracelet, and I found one that looks very similar, and this was just from like a local boutique, and you can find these kind of like silver kind of almost like mesh looking bracelets at many different stores. And then on the bottom I just have on a black kind of like bandage skirt because her bottom of her dress is very straight down, and I thought that would kind of fit and kind of work the best. So overall, this is Spencer's outfit and kind of my recreation of it. Oh, and then for shoes, I'm just wearing these little Tory Burch wedges, which ultimately I would have liked it if this was kind of in more of a silver color so that it wouldn't clash with the silver and gold. But since these are kind of what I have, I'm not going to obviously go buy silver ones just for this outfit. But if you do have some shoe that's black and maybe has some silver like accents or detailing, I think that would be perfect. And in the photo that I was using for inspiration, you couldn't see their shoes, but I think these are classic and they're closed toes, so they kind of are like Spencer's kind of classic, more like sophisticated styles. This is my recreation of Arya's look, and this look is probably my favorite. Okay, so this next look is for Arya, and she probably has like my favorite style, even though she dresses a little bit more daring than I do, but I think her style is overall like really interesting and I really love it. So first, this dress is Michael by Michael Kors line, but I got it on sale. And then this necklace I got from a local boutique, but it looks really similar to the one that she's wearing, and I think it's by Birch Hill. So if you want to like search that designer or something, I think it's like, that's who the designer is. And then for the belt, I could not find like a studded belt, but I just have this black kind of like faux leather belt, which is by Forever 21. And then I'll go ahead and show you the last finishing touch to the Arya look. And that would be the pattern tights that Arya is wearing in the photo. And these are just from Urban Outfitters, and they're like a black lace pattern. So overall, this is Arya's look and kind of my recreation of her look that she is wearing in the photo. Now this is my recreation of Emily's look. Okay, so this is my inspired look for Emily, and I'm really proud of this one because I think it's a very dead-on match. So this top is actually a dress, and it's from the brand Motel, which is kind of like a UK, I think, based brand, because I bought it on ASOS, which is one of my favorite online shops. And it has like the exact like kind of like cutout detailing that Emily's kind of dress has, but it does have sleeves, so it's a little bit different, but it really gives like the same effect because it does have these little cutouts. And I really think you could also make a top like this if you can't find one, you can't find this exact top. You could just make a top if you have one that kind of has a scoop neck. You could go in and just kind of cut out little sections to create kind of this like striping effect that she has. And then down here I just paired it with a black pencil skirt again because the bottom of her dress is very straight down. And this is the same belt that I had on in Arya's look because the one that Emily has on is a little bit more of like a matte finish, and it doesn't really have, it's a little bit thinner as well, but I couldn't find one, so I'm just using the same one. But obviously if you want to find a more like dead-on approach, you could find one that's a little bit smaller. And as far as shoes, I would just wear something very simple because you have kind of a lot going on with the detailing up here, and that's kind of like the main focus of the look, and especially for Emily's look. And lastly, this is my recreation of Hannah's look. Okay, so this is the very last look, and this is Hannah's look. And so first the dress is kind of like, has a little bit of thicker straps, and then it has kind of a tucked in waist, and then it kind of pleats out into a little bit more of like a fuller skirt. And this has like a really subtle like heart print, and in the photo that I'm using, Hannah's dress has like a really interesting kind of like subtle print to it, and it's the same shape exactly, which is great. And then for the earrings, she has on these earrings that look very similar to these, and these are just from a local boutique, but they're by the brand Attitude, so I don't know if you could maybe look that up and find them. And then this is just a cuff that I kind of just turned inside out. It has like the little crystals on the inside, but she has just a black cuff, and I could not find one, so I thought just turning it inside out kind of gives the same effect. So this is my Hannah look, and I think it turned out really well. And I would just wear some, again, very simple, maybe closed-toed, like black heels. Okay everyone, thank you so much for watching my Pretty Little Liars inspired hair, makeup, and outfits, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye! Bye! So leave me a comment on who your favorite Pretty Little Liars character is, and thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed this video. So that is my recreation of Spencer's outfit. One.